Good morning, everyone. Earlier, we were studying about the emergence of new era and medieval period. Like the phases, the medieval period was divided into two phases. That is the early medieval period and the later medieval period. Then there were so many powerful dynasties like Palas, Pratiharas, Rajputas. There was indigenous, and then there was some other invasion also, like Turkish and Muslim rulers were there who came to India and rule over it. After that, the Europeans came in India, followed by English and the Dutch and the French, and they started the process of conquering and colonizing India in the mid 18th century. We have already studied about the impact of geography on Indian history. Now we are going to study about India and its new and old terminology. In this, from the beginning of the medieval period, India has been known by different names from Aryavrat to Hindustan. India got its name Hindustan because of the people living around the Indus River. It is derived from a Persian word which means same as Sindhu in Sanskrit. Hind indicates the Indian subcontinent in Persian and Arabic. When the term Hindustan was used in the 13th century by the chronicles Minhaj us Siraj. He meant the area of Punjab, Haryana, and the land between the Ganga and Yamuna, as this land was ruled by Delhi sultans. South India was not a part of this term. When Babur used the term Hindustan, he used it in a broader sense to include the geographical and cultural characteristics of the entire Indian subcontinent. At the time, this term did not have any political meaning as it has today. India is often referred to as Bharat. In the Sanskrit literature, India is also known as Bharatvarsham. Our next topic is sources of information. Historical sources are classified into two broad categories, that is the literary and archaeological sources. The literary sources of medieval India can be divided into indigenous or writings by the Indian and foreign account. Apart from these, we have coins, inscriptions, and architecture. Manuscripts were a very important source of information for this period, which stretches from 700 to 1750. But one problem of manuscript is that since they were copied by hand, changes in word and sentence were brought in by scribes who copies these manuscripts. Thus, new words, sentence change the meaning of the original manuscript. This definitely is a problem when we study a manuscript from a historical point of view. Now, literary sources, account of Indian writers. As we already discussed, the literary sources are divided into two parts, that is, account of Indian writers and foreign account. There is two examples for account of Indian writers, that is Babar Nama and Jahangir Nama. And the example of foreign account is Al Baruni's Tehqiq-e-Hind. So we start with the accounts of Indian writer. In the medieval period, we had all kind of writing by contemporary writers like Babar's Babarnama, Jahangir's Jahangirnama, fascinating biographies giving the first-hand account of their lives and times. The other very important literary sources of this period are accounts by court historians who were appointed by rulers to record the event of their rule. Some of these major accounts of this period are Abul Fazl's Akbarnama and N.A. Akbari, and an account of Delhi Sultanate by Ziauddin Barani titled Tariq-e-Feroz Shahi. Another type of literary sources are accounts written by scholars about the kingdom in which they lived. Such books were called court chronicles. Rajat Tarangini by Kalhana is one example of a perfect court chronicle. This book gives us a detailed account of the history of Kashmir. Chand Bardai's Prithviraj Raso gives us an account of the rule of Prithviraj Chauhan. Many other writings by Indian writers like Firdausi's Shahnama, Inayat Khan's Shahjahanama, Minhaj us Siraj's Tabaqat-e-Firuz Shahi are important examples of literary accounts of this period. Beside accounts of writers, other literary sources include the religious literature like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, written in regional languages, secular literature written in various Indian regional languages. These sources tell us about the life and values of the people who lived at that time. The archival records containing the governmental documents, royal orders, treaties, court records, etc., are also an important source of information. These also include the farman sent by ruler. Now, some foreign accounts. Foreign accounts are an invaluable sources of information about the medieval period because the foreign travelers and scholars who visited India wrote candidly and honestly about what they saw and experienced in India. Some important foreign accounts are Al Baruni's Tehqiq-e-Hind. I also mentioned this. Al Baruni's Tehqiq-e-Hind is a major foreign account. Ibn Battuta's Rihla account by Al Masudi, Niccolo Conti, Sir Thomas Roy, Francois Berneri, Domingo Pace, and Marco Polo. Niccolo Conti has given a detailed description of the Vijayanagar kingdom and the capital city of Hampi. Apart from these writings, we have a lot of writings by Bhakti and Sufi saints and writings in regional language like Bengali, Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Tamil, Malayalam, etc. Thank you, everyone.